Tonight, Chief Investigative Reporter Jody Barr has learned of a potential falsified search warrant used in a drug investigation, a document allegedly fabricated by a member of an elite drug unit. But what happens next raises major questions about a local sheriff's office and its trust in the county's top law enforcer.
We are rolling into Cheraw, and we're looking for a house on Legrand Street, a house that was once the target of the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office's drug unit. Back on October 11th, a judge signed a search warrant giving the Sheriff's Office the authority to kick the doors in here and take money, drugs, cell phones, cars, anything deputies think may be related to drug dealing. The Sheriff's Office was one step away from executing the search warrant. That's until a drug agent named Larry Tucker spoke up. Our investigation centers on two deputies, Sergeant Mike Irvin and Sergeant Larry Tucker. Irvin is the head of the sheriff's drug unit. Tucker is an agent working for Irvin. Back in October, Irvin asked a county judge for a search warrant to search this home. In the final line of the warrant, Irvin swore that in the last 72 hours, a CI made a controlled drug purchase of methamphetamine from the residence. The judge issued the warrant based on that sworn statement, but our sources tell us that statement was a lie. Why did this drug agent decide to come to you? What was he afraid of?
I feel like that he was concerned that things could come back on him for telling on another person in law enforcement.
Within hours of getting that warrant, Tucker asked to meet with Ethan Ford. A decade ago, Ford and Tucker worked together as sheriff's deputies. Ford's now a Chesterfield County councilman. Ford says Tucker told him he tried to intervene that night, warning his boss, Sergeant Mike Irvin, the warrant affidavit was a lie. When you left that meeting with Sergeant Tucker, what did you do with that information?
There was a lot of deliberation on my part to make sure that I had all my ducks in a row, per se, because I didn't want to put him in a position that would have been made any worse.
Over the next several days, Ford and Tucker waited to see what Irvin and the sheriff's office did with the search warrant. But that warrant sat on a desk and was never executed. On October 18th, 1 week after the judge signed the search warrant, Ford contacted the sheriff's administration to tell them what he knew and that he'd do whatever it took to protect Tucker for blowing the whistle.
It's a lose-lose for him. He's going to have other officers that's going to be nervous about talking to him about certain things because they're going to think that he's a snitch or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, when they take that oath to uphold the Constitution, I think this is a prime example that this isn't the path of least resistance.
On October 21st, Sergeant Tucker sat down and told the Sheriff's Administration everything that happened with that search warrant. But days later, the Sheriff's Office still had not contacted any outside agency to investigate, and Sergeant Mike Irvin was still out working criminal cases. The sheriff didn't contact the State Law Enforcement Division until October 25th, 4 days after the sheriff learned of the allegations against his top cop. SLED had to wait another 4 days to open the investigation, waiting on the sheriff's office to send the documents SLED needed to formally open a case. That didn't happen until October 29th, 8 days after the sheriff learned of the allegations, nearly 3 weeks after Sergeant Irvin got that search warrant. Hours after SLED officially opened its investigation, we found Sergeant Mike Irvin out working a criminal case in the county. Mr. Irvin. Hey, man. You got a second to talk to you?
I don't right now because we're just still working on this.
I want to talk to you about the October 11th search warrant for Barry Allen Simmons.
I'll talk to you eventually.
When can you talk to me?
Call me. You got my number.
All right. You will, because you know the allegations are that...
I don't know any. I can't discuss anything.
Did the drug buy that you put in that search warrant actually happen before that warrant was signed?
I can't talk about an ongoing investigation. Thank you. Appreciate all you do.
All right, man. Since that day, Irvin ignored every message we sent him. Sheriff Kembo Streeter declined our first interview request. So I went to this county council meeting a few days later to talk with him in person. Streeter agreed to interview with us at the end of that week, but the day before our interview, he went back on his word. We found the sheriff on his way into the office a few days later. We're not here to ask you about the details of the SLED investigation. We're here to ask you about what took you so many days to do something about this.
Trudy, I'm not gonna talk about a case that's under investigation.
We're not asking you about the case. We're asking you about your handling of it, Sheriff. What took you so many days to send this to SLED?
I answered that. I told you when what I did. And that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Why is he working any case when he's under an active sled investigation?
Because he's been reassigned.
But he was
several officers. That's all I'm gonna say, Jody.
But he was reassigned to a school. This was out on a criminal investigation. And this guy is still working with those
When all
allegations.
this is over with, I'll give you a timeline on everything we've done.
My sources tell me Irvin was reassigned to a school after we found him here working a criminal investigation while under a sled investigation. The sheriff wouldn't tell us where he reassigned his head drug cop, but a source told me Sergeant Irvin is assigned to the Palmetto Learning Center. I've been here multiple times and I have never found his patrol truck here.
The Palmetto Learning Center, how may I help you?
We went inside to find the sheriff's top drug cop. The short one, yes, ma'am.
Okay, he came early this morning.
Early this morning.
Done a walk through.
Okay. Is he here through the day? He's not?
No.
Okay. Does he come typically in the mornings and does a walkthrough and leaves? Okay. All right, I appreciate it. But the sheriff did confirm Sergeant Larry Tucker is now the target of an internal investigation as well. And the whistleblower, you told me the other day that he was under investigation for, as you said, leaking details of a search warrant.
It's all going to come out in the end, Jody, and you'll have all the information when it comes out, okay? I'm not hiding anything. But I'm not ready to talk about it because we're not done investigating.
Well, how about this? A whistleblower chose to go outside of the sheriff's office. Does it concern you that a whistleblower in your drug unit didn't trust you and your administration enough to come to you instead of seeking help from someone outside?
You need to talk to whoever you talk about. You need to talk to them.
Can I talk to them? You won't fire them?
Huh? You can talk to whoever you want to talk to, if they'll talk to you.
Will you fire them if I conduct interviews with your people?
Have I ever done that before?
I haven't done this yet.
I know, but you've talked to people here before. I haven't fired anybody.
Okay, so you're comfortable with doing that?
Sure, you can talk to them if they'll talk to you.
Sergeant Tucker.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm Jody with Queen City News. We found Larry Tucker working as a school resource officer. There was a search warrant from October 11th that the sheriff's office got. There's a line in there, the search warrant says that in the previous 72 hours before that there was a controlled drug purchase. Did that controlled buy ever happen?
No, sir.
Never?
Never.
Are you the one that typed that warrant out? My sources tell me it was you.
Yes, sir, I did type it on behalf of another officer.
From what I understand, that was a supervisor who instructed you to put these words in that warrant. Did you know at the time you typed that warrant that those words were not true?
I did, but I didn't know at that time that warrant was going to be signed before anything had been attempted.
Were you ever instructed to not tell the judge the whole truth when you brought that warrant there to be signed?
Yes, sir.
What did you think about that?
It was very disturbing.
Is that what led you to speak out?
Yes, sir.
I told Tucker about the sheriff's internal investigation into him. Tucker said he had no idea he was a target. You decided at some point, though, you would go and you would confide in someone outside of the sheriff's office. What led you to go and seek protection?
Fear of retaliation for coming forward.
Did you have any concern about you may not be employed anymore if you said something?
I'd like to not comment on that.
The sheriff could have taken this opportunity to mend some of these trust issues and concerns that some of the officers have with him. He could have taken a stand to say, no matter who it affects, you come to me and I'm gonna take care of business the appropriate way. But this solidifies that the whistleblower's concerns were valid concerns.
The sheriff says Tucker's reassignment is temporary. Ethan Ford sure hopes so.
And I think this whistleblower should be commended for having the courage to come forward, knowing that this could affect their livelihood in big ways.
What do you want the public to know when this goes public?
The truth.
What do you want them to know about Sergeant Larry Tucker?
That I'd done what I was supposed to and reported it as I should.
A major question now, what happens to the other drug cases the sheriff's office made? Chesterfield County Solicitor Will Rogers told me in cases like this, the answer depends on what SLED finds through its investigation. If the allegations are sustained, that could mean reopening every case Sergeant Mike Irvin had anything to do with. The solicitor told me these types of cases obviously could give defense attorneys grounds to question a law enforcement officer's credibility in every case that officer touched. The SLED investigation is full throttle right now. We do know agents interviewed Sergeant Larry Tucker last week, but the state investigation is not yet over, and we'll let you know when it is.